Hello YouTube, this is Mr. San Francisco. Sorry about the blackness right now. Today we'll be just going over the 2048 game. It's a review on all the tiles, what they all look like. Just stuff like that. I have not actually beat the game myself, so not all of this is mine. I'm just gonna give you a heads up on that. But, yeah, so up till the 512 tile, the rest of the tiles were photos that I just took. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start from the 2 and end at the 2048 and show you what happens once you win, alright? So, yeah, I'll see you there. Go ahead. Alright guys, this is the 2 tile. So, you get it right when you start the game. It's nothing much. I mean, I guess it's the tile you need, and you're going to be seeing it throughout the whole entire gameplay. Yeah, that's the 2 tile. You start with it, you can end with it. It's what you need to actually play the game. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to the 4 tile. Alright guys, now this is the 4 tile. Now, I'm sure you've all seen this with tile 2. This is, once you combine 2 2s, you get the 4. Not that hard, but yeah, so that's what you get the 4. Alright guys, this is the 8 tile. Like I said, not too hard. Connect 2 4s, you get the 8. No, it's just like any other tile. Now, as you notice, this one's more orange than the others. They're gonna do that, and I'm not exactly sure why, but I'm guessing it's because that, well, the higher you go, the more darker it gets, because the more closer you are to 10 or 100, because, yeah, I'm not really sure, but you'll notice they kind of change colors, up until the 128s. Well, yeah, so that happens. Maybe it's just to tell, like, what tiles are what. So yeah, that's the 8 tile. Let's go ahead and move on. Alright guys, this is the 16 tile. As you can tell, it's darker than the 8 tile. You combine 2 8s to get 16. I'm sure you guys all see how it's going, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16, 16 plus 16 is 32, it's like that. So, that's nothing much. Same old with that. Let's go on to the 32 tile now. Alright guys, before I start in the 32 tile, I would just like to apologize that I started from the 2, moving on, but as it says in the tile, I'm so used to saying that, title, I'm going through all the titles, explaining how it works, just in case if you haven't played the game, or you want to know how, or you want to get the game, but you don't know if it's a good game. I honestly enjoy the game a lot, but, yeah, so there's the 32 tile, nothing much, combine, what was it, 32, was it 16 plus 16 equals 32, yeah, so that's 32, it's getting a lot darker, it's becoming more red, yeah, so let's move on to the 64 tile. Alright guys, here's the 64 tile, pretty easy to get, 32 plus 32 equals 64, we'll be getting more into the harder tiles to get next, which is 128. But yeah, 64 is the darkest tile of the double digits. Then the 128 is yellow. So, yeah, so there's a big color difference there. But yeah, so 64 is the last darkest. Well, I shouldn't say darkest. Well, it is the darkest of all of them, of all the tiles. But yeah, so that's the 64 tile. Let's go ahead and move on to the 128. Alright guys, here's the 128 tile. This is, as you can tell, it's yellow. So that's how that works. 64 plus 64 is 128. I'm not going to say it's easy to get, but I'm also not going to say it's hard to get. If you get the hang of the game and all that, you know how to play, getting 128 will most likely be in every one of your games that you play. Yeah, so 128, not that hard. Not gonna say it's easy either. But yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to the 256 tile. It's a little bit darker. You'll see. All right, this is the 256 tile. As you can see, it's a little bit darker. I think it's more of a more of a yellow color than the 128. I guess that all depends on how you see things. I think it's more yellow than the 128. Yeah, so combine 228s to get it. 256, I can usually get a 256 in all of my rounds that I play this game, but I don't get the next tile as much. So 256 is gonna say is where it gets hard to combine. I'm not gonna. I mean, it's not easy to get 256. Yeah, so that's where it starts getting a little more complicated. Let's go ahead and move on to the next tile. Okay, this is the 512 tile. It's kind of hard to get unless you play this game all the time. You know, some people may get it every round, not sure. But yeah, so I don't always get it. It's kind of hard to get. Well, it's pretty hard to get. Yeah, so that's about as far as I usually get is 512. It's pretty complicated to get. You know, you gotta play a lot. You gotta know what you're doing. Yeah, as you can also see, it's dark. It's still yellow. The rest of the tiles from here on out are gonna be yellow. But yeah, so let's go ahead and go on to the next tile. Alright, guys, this is the tile that I have actually never gotten. I really want to get this tile. It's really hard, though. I don't even know how to explain this one. But yeah, this is the 1024 tile, or 1024, whatever you want to say. It's a pretty complicated tile to get. You really gotta know what you're doing. But yeah, if you ever get that tile, congrats. It's really hard to get. Let's go ahead and move on to the 2048 tile, finally. Okay, guys, the tile that I'm sure most of you guys have been waiting for, the 2048 tile. This tile, it's the tile that you use to win to beat the game, actually. It's, wow. For those of you that have beat the game, congrats. Post that in the comments, you know, share with the world that you've beat the game. It's a really hard tile to get. I've never beaten the game. I don't think I'm ever going to beat the game anytime soon. I hope to beat the game sometime, but yeah, it's pretty complicated. Now let me show you what happens when you win, alright? Let's move on to that now. Sorry guys, I forgot to mention one thing. If you notice the 2048 tile, it kinda glows. I don't know if it actually glows in gameplay. This picture looks like it glows. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it does glow, you know. Congrats, but yeah, so it looks like it glows if you haven't noticed, but yeah, so pretty sure that's what happens. Alright guys, this is what happens when you win. It says you win. I think this is a new feature actually, because I know there was a new update when I started playing. It's a pretty big update. I remember I was watching a YouTube video one time and some guy got like a 4096 tile. But I'm pretty sure, I don't know. So I think there's a new feature where it says you win. I don't know if you keep going. After it says you win, like it says you win, and then you can continue going, but I think it's a new feature. It's a pretty cool feature, you know. If it says you win, congratulates you. But yeah, so that's all that happens when you win. I know it's not much. I wish there was more to it, like, I don't know, you unlock something. I don't know, it's pretty cool, though, I guess. It's nothing big. But yeah, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. If this helped you, or, you know, you kind of just got to know more about the game or saw the tiles, yeah, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to me. Please, that helps a lot. Thanks for watching, and, goodbye.